It was a flawless first inning for Chris Gow as both pitchers have gotten off to a good start here on a damp Friday night, a good Friday night here on Jacksonville's First Coast. A Thursday, Friday, Saturday series with Easter on Sunday. The A-Sun gets things going a day early, as many leagues across the country do. There is head coach Tim Parrington in his first season at the helm of the North Florida Ospreys. Is 2-0 against the crosstown rivals thus far in his first campaign as head coach, winning both the Mayor's Cup earlier this month and then last night's contest as well. Gow back to work, facing off against the cleanup hitter for North Florida, Chris Berry. First pitch misses down and in. 1-0 to Chris Berry, 1 for 4 last night. Did score 2 runs and drove in 1 as well. Berry missed last weekend's series with an injury, returning to the starting lineup for the first time last night. He's ahead 2-0. Gow got ahead of all three of the hitters he faced in the first inning. Ground ball, foul ball. There's the first strike of the at-bat. Gow has pitched 3 times in his career against North Florida. He allowed 9 hits and 2 runs last year in earning a no decision on that Thursday night start. And he also pitched in the Mayor's Cup his freshman campaign. Well-placed breaking ball to even up the count at 2-2.
And if he can do that all game, he's going to be in this game a long time, especially if he can do that in hitters' counts when, the hitters are looking for fastballs. That's just going to give him an advantage because it's going to put hitters on their toes, and they have to honor that pitch. And then when you have to, honor that pitch, you can sneak a fastball in there and mess up their timing. So as long as he can command that pitch in any count, it's going to be a good day for Chris Gow.
Third start of his career against the crosstown rival North Florida for the Jacksonville native, Chris Gow from University Christian. And he has his first strikeout of the night as Berry could not hold up on the check swing.
And there again, he went back with the curveball, and that's a very well-placed pitch. You see there, definitely went down around the back foot, and that's where you want to put that ball. So very well executed pitch there by Gow.
Chris Gow, someone, Jeff, that really, I don't think Mark Guerra, the pitching coach, head coach Chris Hayes, ever really get worried as Jay Prather fouls one out of play to start the at-bat. He fell behind 2-0 in that at-bat, and yet it never felt like he was going to lose the hitter.
He's not a tentative pitcher. He's never going to give up in an at-bat. Even when he gets behind, he's going to continue to stick with his game plan and go right after guys. He's got that mentality that, he's going to make you beat him. He's not going to give away, free at-bats.
First base hit of the night for either side. It's Jay Prather's 3rd hit of the weekend in 5 at-bats. And he gives the Ospreys a 1-out base runner in the second. Just took a fastball inside and turned on it.
Yeah, he did a good job. Got that pitch was a little in and a little down, and he did a good job there getting the hands inside and not trying to lift the ball and just took the ball where it was pitched.
Ray Gonzalez had 3 hits last night. And he swings at the first pitch. This is a can of corn. Can someone make a play? It's Camacho in foul territory. Losing the hat and all, and he makes a catch for a second out of the inning. And that is going to get a lot of cheers and perhaps some friendly jeers from his own dugout.
I think it's the flow,
Yeah.
Early on in Camacho's career, he had the buzz cut, but, now that he's a veteran, he's, letting it grow out a little bit, and, hey, I like it.
Look good.
Yeah, absolutely. Chance to show it off.
Color me jealous. Runner on first and 2 outs after Gonzalez pops out. Here's Alex Reynolds, the first baseman. And Gow, predictably, starts him off with a strike. Reynolds last night, matching his teammate who hit before him in the order, Ray Gonzalez, with 3 hits. One of 3 Ospreys with 3 hits on the night. One of 5 with multiple hits. Gonzalez 3 for 5 and drove in 1 of the 8 runs scored by North Florida. Bouncer in the dirt, now delayed steal, throw down to second, and gone by a long shot is Jay Prather.
That was a tough play for Franco. Gal spiked the fastball there, and Franco did a great job of keeping his feet under him and just bodying up that ball and didn't get fooled on the delay steal. So excellent play by Franco there.
Second runner caught stealing in as many nights for Franco Guardacione, and it ends the inning. That river is going to be busy tomorrow. Jacksonville University rowing hosting a regatta out on the St. Johns River tomorrow morning, welcoming in conference foe Stetson, and it's senior day as well, but it is all quiet out there right now. There's a look at the crowd that braved the elements here tonight, the delayed start, and are in attendance. Not a bad crowd here considering you'd have to pay me to sit in a wet stadium to watch a baseball game normally, and these folks decided they wanted to stick it out, hung out, enjoying dollar night at the ballpark, dollar hot dogs and hamburgers here at John Sessions Stadium, and enjoying what has been a pitcher's duel thus far. Scott Manzi, Jeff Tanner back with you is John Casala. Bloops one out into shallow right field. This could be trouble, and it is. A collision in right. Casala digging for two, and the throw skips away.
Yeah, that was a tough play. You saw off the bat that it was trouble. That the right fielder didn't have a good read on it, and he drifted back a little bit, then had to come in hard. And second baseman did all he could to, back up and get that ball. And almost a really bad collision there. Thankfully, nobody was hurt. But John Casala, smart there, being able to get on second.
Law going out, Board coming in, and can't tell who was maybe yelling for it, but Board slipping and falling actually probably avoided a worse collision. And yet they still hit each other pretty good. Man, that was... A guy goes helicoptering to the ground. That doesn't look very good.
Yeah, you never want to see, a bad collision like that, so thankfully nobody was hurt.
North Florida lost its starting center fielder Chris Thibodeau 2 years ago in a game against Jacksonville. Bunt put on by Hunter, and will the cover be in time? It's beating it out is Hunter. An infield single on the bunt, which moves Casala down to third.
And I love that call right there. Wet conditions, and for Hunter, a guy that can bunt and get down the line well, I really like that call there. It gets Casala over to third, and then, with Hunter's speed, he's only 90 feet away from second. So I like that call there. Very well-placed bunt, and with a lefty on the mound, that's a tough play for him to make.
I wasn't even sure the second baseman Law was going to get there in time because he was late moving over to cover first base. And he did get to the bag in time, but the throw was a little tardy. Runners on the corners, no one out, and Jacksonville, the first team to threaten thus far here in this one in the bottom of the third. And the top of the order is up Ruben Samayan, who struck out his first time up, and he moves ahead 1-0 after he takes a fastball low. .0 pitch spoiled out of play. A big spot early in this one. Last night, North Florida struck first and led the whole way. Jacksonville, in winning 6 of 7 coming into last night's contest, took the lead first in all 6 of those wins.
And again, that's huge. That just sets the tone and momentum for the rest of the game. And not to say that you can't come from behind, but it just makes it that much harder when, the opposing team is able to score first. You have to, come from behind. But that's the key. That's going to be the key in this game. You saw it last night. UNF was able to score first. So JU really has to, take advantage of the situation they're in with having a runner on third, nobody out.
2-1 the count to Ruben Samayan, who picked up 1 hit last night. Fights one off the other way, and this will score the first run of the game.
Yeah, Ruben did a really nice job there. That fastball a little elevated. He had to do all he could to get on top of that baseball and did a really good job getting extension and able to drop that ball over in left field.
Samayan becomes the 6th Dolphin to reach double figures in RBI this year, with his 10th going the other way with it. And after Austin Drury had little to no trouble through the first 2 innings, it has been Jacksonville who has done just enough with the baseball here. They're not lining doubles down the gap or anything like that. A bunt attempt from Lahane goes foul. But this is similar to how things got started for North Florida last night. It wasn't hard-hit baseballs per se. Blake Voiles did had a very nice double down the line, but it all started with a bloop double and a very similar play to the one we saw to start this inning.
I mean, hey, I wasn't a hitter, but, you know, a bloop hit, a hard hit, it's still a hit in the books. So, again, if John Casala isn't aggressive there, you know, on that pop fly and he jogs it down the line and isn't aggressive trying to advance to second base, you know, that's a completely different situation. Maybe you don't bunt him over there, but again, that's what, you know, led to manufacturing that run.
Lahane, again, foul on the bunt. 0-2. Now, the bunt play has stayed on quite a few times this year with Chris Lahane at the plate. He has been Jacksonville's leading sacrifice bunt guy this year. 6 successful on the season out of the 17 laid down by the Dolphins thus far in the 2018 campaign. Lahane digs back in, down 0-2. The redshirt senior from Jacksonville squaring to bunt. Pulls the bat back, bounced in. Hunter gave a look to third base, but will retreat back quickly. And Ray Gonzalez has had to do some work behind the dish tonight already here in the early part of this game in order to keep that baseball in play. Drury has bounced a few in here this inning. Again, the bunt play on, pulling back, bouncing it, just foul to the right of the bag at first. That was inches away from being double trouble. Chris Lahane might have cleared the bases there.
And, you know, that play right there, the early show on the bunt and then pulling back, and you see that work all the time. I think what that does for a hitter is that just gets it gets their timing going a little bit quicker. It forces them to get their foot down sooner and enables them to just, you know, free the hands up and put barrel on the ball. So we'll see if he sticks with it here or see if he just goes straight swing.
This time he will just bunt. Drury off the mound, and he can't field it cleanly. They're safe all the way around.
And that's just, you know, the confidence that Coach Hayes has in Chris Lahane. You know, he's a guy that you can depend on even with 2 strikes to be able to place a bunt down. And like I said earlier, with these wet conditions, grass is a little slick. Drury couldn't get a hand on it, and now in a little trouble here with no outs, bases loaded here in the bottom of the 3rd.
Good, not great bunt, but Drury probably trying to do a little too much there, it looked like.
It looks like he may have tried to see where the runner was at and took his eye off the ball for a second. And again, that ball's still rolling, trying to barehand it. Generally, that's not what you want to do. You want to, especially with these wet conditions, you want to, you know, get a glove on it and take the out. But you know, that ended up working out in JU's favor. And again, they have runners in scoring position. They got to capitalize on it here.
Tommy Boss, the North Florida pitching coach in his first season on this staff, graduate from the University of Florida back in 2005, having a word with his starter, Austin Drury. Coach Hayes has to be pleased as to how this inning has started for Jacksonville, but they certainly have visions of much bigger things with Scott DeBrule at the plate, the bases loaded and no outs. DeBrule first pitch swinging, pop up to shallow left. A long way to run for Libanow. And he slips and falls and makes the catch. Hunter might have left the bag early. And he did. That is a double play. What a tremendous effort by Raph Libanow. Slipping, falling, still making the catch out and left. And Coach Hayes is in to argue with home plate umpire John Lavin on to whether or not indeed Duncan Hunter, the freshman, left third early.
I was keying on Hunter there, and to me, I thought he stayed. It was very close. You know, Hunter maybe thought that he was going to drop it, but I thought he might have stayed. even though on the slip there, it looked like Hunter was still on the bag when he caught it.
Another look here. Well, we lose it with the zoom. How did he catch that?
That's just an athletic play there, and, I don't know where the ball is in the left fielder's glove, but, you see there, it looks like he's on the bag, and this is kind of the time.
He's watching to see if it's
This is the
caught.
time you wish we had instant replay. But
so this is the same frame. So we have a frame by frame, so we can switch cameras and show you frame by frame. There's the ball in the glove, and there is Duncan Hunter's foot on third base. And that is a blown call by home plate umpire John Lavin.
And I don't even know if that's the home plate umpire's call. To me, I think that's
I was anticipating.
That's
I was anticipating Brian King. I was watching King to make the call, and he didn't.
And I think that's what Coach Hayes is trying to get the home plate umpire to do, is ask him for help.
To convene and discuss.
And if this holds, which it looked like it will, this is going to change the whole momentum of this inning. Even though they were able to scratch and run across, when you got bases loaded and nobody out, you definitely want to be able to get more than one run in that situation. So, again, clearly we saw that Hunter was on the bag. This is kind of one of those times you wish that instant replay, was in play for college baseball. But tough luck for JU. So still have a chance here, 2 outs, runner in scoring position. So need Camacho to step up here for JU.
2 outs, still runners on first and second in Angel Camacho, and Gonzalez lost the baseball. He's able to pick it up before Samayan can advance. Ruben Samayan is at second with good speed, Chris Lahane at first. To reset the inning for you, because it's been a big one, John Casala with the bloop double into shallow right field on a collision between the second baseman Law and the right fielder Board. And then he went to third on a bunt single by Duncan Hunter. Camacho, ground ball. This could end the inning. Law flips to the covering shortstop Prather, and that will do it. So a double, a single, and another single from Ruben Samayan plate a run, but this play by Raph Libanow in left field, slipping, sliding, and making a huge catch led to the first out of the inning, and then doubling up Duncan Hunter when he was ruled to have left third base early, changing the complexion of the inning, but Jacksonville takes a 1-0 lead. Chris Gow has a lead to work with. 1 run, the advantage for Jacksonville right now. Dolphins threatened to put even more up when they loaded the bases with 1 out and took the lead, or with no outs, but then a fly out to left on a sliding catch made by Raph Libanow, and then they doubled off Duncan Hunter at third base after home plate umpire John Lavin ruled that he left the bag early. And then a ground out up the middle by Angel Camacho ended the inning, but still 1-0 lead for Chris Gow, who embraces the opportunity to pitch with an advantage, however small it may be. And he fits right in with a guy who attacks, doesn't he?
Absolutely. And, having pitched here, obviously you don't want to let, the score of the game dictate, your approach. But when you have that cushion, that lead, that just gives you the more confidence and to go right after guys. Because you know that hitters in that situation, they got to be selective because they need to get base runners on. So you can go right after these guys.
2-0 the count to Dalton Board, the leadoff man for the Ospreys. 0 for 1 on the night. 3-hit game last night for North Florida. Gow's 2-0 is lifted into center. Samayan gets his feet underneath him, which is nothing small on a game like this. We have seen fielders go all over the place. It's like a slip and slide out there right now tonight. That's the first out of the inning.
Absolutely. You definitely got to be very sure-footed out there and keep your feet underneath you. As soon as you get those feet out from underneath the center of your body, that's when you're going to lose balance. So look for that to be a factor here tonight.
1 out, no one on. Tanner Murphy, a ground out victim his first time up. He went around on the first pitch. A breaking ball out of the zone from Chris Gow. North Florida trailing for the first time thus far in this series. And Murphy clubs one to deep left. At the wall, and it is gone. Tanner Murphy ties it up at 1. A solo shot to left, his 7th of the year. We'll take another look at this one here as Murphy is greeted by the entire team and see what pitch Murphy got a hold of from Chris Gow.
Looked like a fastball that was maybe a little elevated over the plate, and you see there that Tanner put a very good swing on it, didn't miss his fastball, and that's a good adjustment in that at bat, especially, you know, being out front on that first curveball. So got his fastball, didn't miss it.
Wall scraper and a big ballpark, but it goes down as the first run of the night for North Florida, who mere moments after I said they trailed for the first time, erased the deficit and even it up at 1. Now Gow will try and battle back against Blake Voiles, and he attacks the zone to move ahead 0-2 early.
And as a pitcher, as much as you don't want to give up home runs, you can live up with giving up solo shots. It's when you have runners in scoring position that those are the ones that really hurt you. So as much as you don't want to do that, and as frustrated as Gow is, I'm sure, you just got to stick with your approach.
1-2.
That ball didn't miss by much. Curveball, and you see Gow, he's not happy about that. But, again, you can't let umpire, you know,
This is something, Jeff, sorry to cut you off there as we get ready for this 2-2 pitch, but this is something with Gow that they have had to work on. Ground ball foul. He is an emotional pitcher. And pitching coach Mark Guerra, head coach Chris Hayes have worked on getting him to manage those emotions better here now in his junior year.
And as you said, he's an emotional pitcher, and that works both for and against him. You know, when an umpire squeezes him, you got to do everything you can to mask that, because, you know, as much as you would hope umpires are subjective and, you know, that they aren't biased, if they see a pitcher, you know, showing attitude and they don't like, you know, their calls, you may not get that tight call when you need it most. So especially early on in this game, in that count, was it a strike? In my opinion, yes. But like you said, Gow's definitely, you know, gotten a lot better masking those emotions. So let it slip right there a little bit. But, you know, I think that as he, you know, progresses through this game, that won't be an issue.
Got him on a heater inside. Strikeout number 3 for Chris Gow on the evening.
And now you see the umpire giving Gow a warning after that.
And now Coach Hayes is sprinting out of the dugout. He is livid.
And I don't understand that either. As a pitcher, you want to show a little emotion after a strikeout. I don't understand what the issue is that. A hitter has, you know, the right, if they have the right to flip a bat and you know.
Right, yeah, the pitcher should be able to show a
watch
little
a
as
ball
well.
That he smokes, then I don't understand why a pitcher can't show a little emotion.
Well, if you read his lips there, then you may know a little bit more as to why the warning was.
And you see the home plate umpires trying to calm this down. Yeah, like you said, you read those lips, you kind of understand. So still, but you've seen it before. You've seen a pitcher just show emotion, not even say any words, give a little, you know, fist bump, and you see umpires go out there and give warnings all the time. And that's something that, you know, I dealt with before. You know, I guess it's an umpire trying to control the emotions of the game.
Right.
But, you know, in situations like that, you know, you get a little excited. And like you said, Gal's an emotional guy. So.
Right. And here's Chris Lahane, a captain on this team, a leader, a veteran, who's over to have a few words with his pitcher, too, to try and make sure that, again, he is channeling those emotions for good. And not – you don't want to get yourself kicked out of a game like this. It would be huge.
And like you said, with this – rivalry between JU and UNF,
right.
the emotions are already going to be up as it is, so you got to harness those emotions and turn them into something positive. But again, like I said, I don't see the big deal in a pitcher, you know, celebrating and after a strikeout, because
that's when you go with the glove over the mouth a little bit, perhaps help yourself out.
Try and buffer it a little bit.
Yeah. It's a little harder for maybe perhaps for opposing coaches and opposing players to get a feel on you. Ripped down the line, but foul. The count moves to 1-2 on Chris Berry with 2 outs and no one on in the top of the 4th. And, boy, this game has really gotten interesting here over the last inning.
Absolutely. And to go back to that point, you know, you never want to give an opponent, you know, any more energy than they already have. So, you know, when you entice, you know, a little bit of emotion from, the opposing dugout, by celebrating that. That's not your intent. Sometimes your emotions just, take control. But again, this game means a lot to both these teams. It historically there hasn't been much animosity. It's always been,
pretty respectful.
Respectful competition. So
fly ball infield, drifting into shallow right. Samayan will take it and end the inning. So some fireworks, both at the plate and on the mound here in the top of the fourth. But a solo shot from Tanner Murphy ties it up at 1. We've got a good one brewing here at Jacksonville University. The River City Rumble heating up. Enjoying the Terrace Suites tonight down the left field line, part of the amenities here at John Sessions Stadium. Tonight the umbrellas were needed, especially early, but the rain has moved on. And we have played 3.5 of dry baseball, though the field's still quite wet, and we have seen that play a significant factor in the early part of this game. Right now, 1-1. Both runs coming in the last inning combined. The bottom of the third for Jacksonville, the lone run for the Dolphins, and the top of the fourth for North Florida to tie it up. Jacob Southern leading off the bottom of the fourth, and he fouls the first one back to the screen. We'll see how Austin Drury handles this after he worked himself into a bit of a pickle an inning ago.
Yeah, thanks to some stellar defense by his left fielder. You give up a run there, but Drury's got to take that as a victory there, being able to come out of that inning when really it could have got away from him and was able to minimize that inning to only 1 run.
Southern behind 0-2. He struck out his first time up. Chasing a breaking ball down low. He is looking for his first hit of the weekend. Oh for 5 right now on the series. And he lifts another one out into right field. Long run for Dalton Board. And it'll fall in foul territory. Southern, 4 for his last 18 at the plate, but has reached base 8 times in that stretch. 4 walks to go with his 4 hits, and has scored 4 runs in the last 5 games.
Yeah, and I really like Southern at the plate. Again, he provides some power for this JU lineup, and you mentioned it with the walks. He's selective, but yet he's aggressive to fastballs. And of all guys in this lineup, he has that sneaky power that, when he came in last year, you didn't see him a lot in the lineup, but this year you've really seen him, provide that power in this lineup.
1-2, the count to Jacob Southern. And another foul ball. On deck is Sam Armstrong. He walked his first time up, and then Franco Guardacione in the hole. There's Armstrong. Interesting story about that jersey, wearing the number 44 in the whites. He wears number 12 normally, as Southern crushes one out to deep right center field. Back to the wall, off the wall. Southern looking 2, and he is in with a stand-up double.
And that's just a very good at bat right there. And, you've seen Southern with his power being able to pull the ball, and right there hitting it to the deepest part of the ballpark, and, being able to get the first runner on and doubling up there, that's huge.
A second consecutive leadoff double for Jacksonville. It's the third 2-bagger of the year for Jacob Southern. And he is in scoring position with no one outs for Sam Armstrong. Another look at this swing.
And you see there, he stayed down on it. He let the ball get to him, and he didn't try and pull that ball and went with it. And I think a lot of guys, mistakenly are going to try and pull that ball because they don't know that, some of their best power is letting that ball get deep and taking in that right center field gap.
Yeah, ask Giancarlo Stanton about that. Armstrong goes around on the first. Jacksonville today 2 for 4 with runners in scoring position. We're just 2 for 9 last night. So continuing the story on Armstrong with that number 44 jersey. New white jerseys for Jacksonville this year. Fresh, clean, It looks sharp, right?
Absolutely.
Well, that number 12 that Armstrong got didn't quite fit him. We'll say it was a little bit snug. It would have looked perfect perhaps in the 1990s Major League Baseball era, but not in the current baseball climate. And Armstrong needed a little more breathing room, so they had a bigger jersey, a number 44. And he wears that number.
It probably
on
would have
Friday
fit him
night.
2 years ago.
Perhaps, yes. He has bulked up significantly between his freshman and senior years. And he's tardy on a fastball, falls behind 1-2. Armstrong reached base back in the second inning on a walk. For Armstrong, that is walk number 19 on the season. He leads the team in that category.
I mean, if I'm a pitcher and I see a big boy like that in the box, there'd be times where, I'm definitely not going to throw to him, so I can understand those walks.
Another high fastball and a strikeout for Drury, his 4th of the night.
That's one thing that I can say Sammy's got to work on. Obviously he provides that power, but sometimes, you got to understand the situation there. You got a runner on second, nobody out. Maybe try and shorten up right there and just, hit a nice ground ball to the second baseman, get that runner over. Like I said, you got to manufacture runs, and take advantage when they're given to you. Down in, when you're behind in the count, you know that you're not going to get probably a good pitch to hit. So you just got to do everything you can, put the ball in play, and try and move that runner.
And I know you were a pitcher by trade, but you're involved in a little bit of coaching now.
I hit in high school. I prided myself.
Yes.
While I wasn't the best,
You took it seriously.
I took it seriously, and I had great coaches who, they knew I wasn't a hitter, but, I played some first base, and, while I wasn't the home run guy and, I wasn't going to, hit a lot, get a lot of base hits, I knew my job was to go up there and just have productive at-bats, and that's just knowing the situation you're inheriting when you get into the box.
So to continue my thought, why don't we see guys choke up anymore?
I was having this conversation actually with Angelo Mandalore the other day. In my mind, you see one of the best hitters in baseball right now.
Joey Votto.
Joey Votto and Anthony Rizzo, and they alluded to that in their opening day game, that that you don't see that in the major leagues.
Nope.
And you see that Rizzo is the toughest two-strike hitter to get out in the major league.
Plus
Same with Joey
Votto.
Yeah,
that helps some.
So, well, I understand. You want to get base hits. Sometimes that's not the most productive thing you can do for your team. Sometimes it's just moving a runner over and putting your team in a better situation to get that run in.
And sometimes it's just a matter of you just want to make contact so you can foul off a few pitches. And look at what Jacob Southern did. He fell behind. He was able to foul off a few, and next thing you know, he gets a pitch.
Yeah, exactly. And again, I think that's it's not a common practice in baseball in general. Is choking. You were taught it at a young age. You get 2 strikes, you choke up on the bat.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I think that just gives you more bat control. You shorten up your swing. You don't have to get as much bat head around, and it just gives you more control of the bat. So while I don't think it's going to be an adopted practice anytime soon, I think it's something that guys need to try and pick up on a little bit.
John Casala doubled his first time up. That was an inning ago, and he stands in with an RBI opportunity with 1 out. And Austin Drury's had a hard time throwing strikes. That is 6 consecutive balls, and they've all been high.
Yeah, and you saw it to the strikeout on Sammy. The ball was high, and it looks like he's lost a little bit of command. It looked like maybe that double by Southern may have shaken him up a bit. So really got to be patient here at the plate for Casala. And I said, looking at Casala's numbers, he's been swinging it well, coming in to pinch hit and DH. And so we'll see if he can be productive here and find his pitch.
I'm surprised we have not seen Ray Gonzalez or Tommy Boss come out, the catcher or the pitching coach. Drury's completely lost it. And then they've all been, I don't know if it's where he's planting or follow through or what, but it's every single pitch has been high, even the ones he was getting for strikes against Armstrong, and that one wasn't close either.
Yeah, he's lost something mechanically, and like you said, I'm surprised you haven't seen a coach come from the dugout or even your catcher
Yeah, that's
especially
what I
with
would
one
just
out,
imagine.
runners
Maybe
in scoring position.
Well, here, right on cue.
And to me, this is a batter too late. After that, even you follow up a strikeout, but still you walk,
But
four
a 4-pitch
straight.
walk, yeah.
At least you would want to have your catcher maybe come out there and tell you, hey, it's still a tie game.
Right.
So fill it up. Go after these guys pitch to contact in this situation.
What do you ask a guy who isn't throwing strikes? What's the message?
I've dealt with that a little bit in my short-lived coaching
To be
career.
fair, I wasn't asking you that as a player question, but more of a coaching question. Yes. So go ahead.
Obviously the pitching coach, he's going to be keying on the mechanical adjustments he sees from the dugout. So I'm sure he's sharing that with them. But like I was saying before, this situation, it's a tie ball game. You got nobody out, runner on second. There's no place to put you. You just got to go and attack these guys. Once you key in on that, mechanical adjustment you need to make, then, it becomes, not overthinking and just attacking hitters. And there, a guy's struggling to find the zone and you lead off with an off-speed pitch.
Though his fastball has stayed up, so maybe that's why you think?
Maybe that's the thinking, but, with bases loaded now, you definitely don't want to get behind on a guy.
Or bounce one of those away, as he has done a few times. Comes back and gets a fastball for a strike. And for those clad in blue in the first base dugout, maybe a bit of a sigh of relief. That is the first strike thrown in 9 consecutive pitches by Austin Drury. The 1-1 to the freshman Hunter, and he shoots it out of play to the right side. A big spot for the freshman right here at the plate.
Absolutely, and here again in back-to-back innings, you got runners in scoring position with less than 2 outs, so you got to capitalize here and come away with a run and potentially more.
1-2 pitch, and Hunter clubs it down the line and left. A fair ball. 1 run will score. 2 runs will score. They will tell Casala to go around, and he will slide in safely.
You see Coach Hayes, he held him up there, but, John didn't see it, picked it up late, and you see a smile on Coach Hayes' face over there.
A wry smile.
A wry smile. It's not a ear-to-ear smile, because if Casala gets thrown out there, it might be a different expression. But huge at-bat there by the freshman, clearing the bases and being able to double up there.
Duncan Hunter. He's just a freshman, but he could prove to be a good one when it's all said and done. What a big at-bat and a big spot in his first real taste of this rivalry. He only had 1 prior at-bat before tonight's game. And Libanow, who made the tremendous play out and left before, had a hard time getting to that baseball, stumbling a little bit in the wet turf. And the throw well offline. No trouble for John Casala to come in safely. Bases have been cleared. Now a runner on second base with still just 1 out. 4-1, Jacksonville leads, and the top of the order up again, Ruben Samayan.
And you see some movement down in the Osprey bullpen. Can't get a number right now, but to me, this may have been a late move by UNF. Probably wanted to get a guy down there getting warm.
And now a batter is hit. Matt Vaca getting loose down in the bullpen for North Florida, but how quickly can he warm up as Austin Drury has seen the wheels come off here in the 4th?
Absolutely, and as I was saying, it looks like there's going to be a move made here. But, I think this may have been a batter too late. Jay, you found a groove, and with Hunter, you know the kind of hitter he is, and, not able to find the zone, so may have been a batter too late here.
Jay Prather, the Ospreys shortstop, has made a couple of nice defensive plays thus far tonight, but his team is behind on the scoreboard 4-1 as we enter the bottom of the 5th inning. Jacksonville brought 8 men to the plate in the 4th in plating 3 runs. Angel Camacho, the only one who didn't come to the plate, and he is making up for lost time with a single up the middle, his first hit of the weekend. Excuse me, his second. He did single last night. It's his first hit of the night, however. And for the 3rd consecutive inning, Jacksonville has put the leadoff man aboard. Southern grooved a double into the right center gap to lead off the fourth inning, came home to score on the ensuing double from Duncan Hunter 4 batters later. For Southern, just his 3rd double of the season, but his 8th extra base hit. He also has 5 home runs on the year. And he faces Vaca for the first time and drives one out to center field, but playable for Murphy for the first out of the inning.
Now batting third baseman number 44.
Matt Vaca out for a 2nd inning of relief work for North Florida. He has retired 3 of the first 4 Jacksonville hitters he has faced since relieving Austin Drury with just 1 out and runners on first and second in the 4th. Vaca from Tampa, but he has factored significantly into this series over the years, winning the first ever Mayor's Cup back in 2015 and has appeared seemingly in multiple games in every matchup since then, whether it's a weekend series or he has not started a Mayor's Cup since, but is commonly the first man out of the pen, regardless of who the head coach is for North Florida, either Smoke Laval for the last few seasons or Tim Parrington, who is now leading the Ospreys here in his first season. A throw back to first, and it's bounced in and fielded nicely by Reynolds to keep it from rolling into right. Camacho strayed pretty far off the bag that time, might have been caught if that throw had been on line from Gonzalez. Fresh baseball for Vaca to work with, and a 1-1 count to Sam Armstrong with a runner on first. Another look at it here. He was way off, but the throw was way off as well. Pop up, foul territory. Berry giving it a look. 2 outs.
Now batting catcher number 25, Franco Gordacione.
Brings up Gordacione, who walked and scored an inning ago. Franco drove in 1 last night. He was hitting over 300 coming into the evening in his last 5 games, 5 for 16. He's 0 for 1 this evening. And he watches the first one gather some dirt on it. They are rolling through baseballs like they're water here tonight with the wet clay. Every time one seems to get down into the dirt, it's a fresh one. Jacksonville started this inning leading off with a single from Camacho, but back-to-back outs since then recorded by Vaca. 2-0, Gordacione ahead. Chopper foul. And it's Coach Hayes down at third that ended up making the play in front of Chris Berry. Camacho will have to make his way back to first. First strike of the at-bat to Gordacione, the redshirt senior who missed most of last season with an arm injury, shoulder. He has worked his way back, and he grounds one to the left side again. This one will stay fair. And nowhere to throw for the third baseman, Berry. He eats it, and Gordacione has an infield single.
Now batting left fielder number 8, John Casala.
Franco's probably turning around wondering if the ball went down the line or something of that nature. It is very rare that you see Franco Gordacione reach on an infield single, and Berry, I thought, had a chance. But remember, wet field, wet conditions. He's charging it. He fielded it and perhaps thought that I'd rather take my chances with Casala here coming up to the plate as opposed to give up an extra base or 2 on a throwaway. He did throw one away last night. Jacksonville now 3 for 8 with runners in scoring position on the night, and it's John Casala who has reached his first 2 times to the plate, once with a double and once on a walk. He has scored both times. Ahead 1-0, make that 2-0. 2 men on for Jacksonville, who have scored each of the last 2 innings, and they're trying to do so again here. A little bit of a 2-out rally. John Casala, who's been driven in twice, will now try to drive one in himself. Ground ball to third. Barry having a hard time with it. Nowhere to go. Again, an infield single for Jacksonville. That one maybe a hit, maybe not.
Now batting right fielder number 24, Duncan Hunter.
Took a little bit of a funny hop on Barry, but he couldn't stick with it. And the bases are now loaded. John Casala is on board for the 3rd time tonight. And another look here. One hop, and yeah, he just kind of hit him in the hands. Bases loaded, 2 outs. 3rd consecutive inning. Jacksonville has had the bases loaded, and Gonzalez is able to get to that wild pitch very quickly to ensure that the Dolphins don't get a cheapie sneaking home. Duncan Hunter, he was the man who produced an inning ago in this situation. That was a double down the left field line that cleared the bases. He could do so again here in the 5th. Wouldn't that be something? 1-0 pitch. Bounces away from Gonzalez again, but not far enough. Bases full of Dolphins. Last time Jacksonville loaded the bases, did not get a run out of it the first time. The last time, it was a double for Duncan Hunter, in which he drove in 3. The freshman at the plate again and ahead in the count 2-0. Checks his swing on a fastball that missed outside. They'll appeal down to 3rd, and they'll say he went around. First base umpire Doug Lee was just waiting for the appeal, and he went right to the fist pump. Two-one up the middle, another base hit for Hunter. Waving around Guardacione, no throw to the plate, and Jacksonville has scored 2 more. 5 RBI on the night for the freshman Duncan Hunter. 3rd time this season Jacksonville has had a player drive in 5 in a game. Alongside Guardacione and Armstrong, it's now Duncan Hunter who has driven in a dime piece in one night. What a night at the plate for the freshman, who's 3 for 3. He came into tonight's game hitting .714 in his last 5. Now, granted, he had played in just 3 of those 5, but was 5 for 7 with a double, 4 runs scored, a home run, his first career, and 2 RBI. And he is starting to come into his own now in conference play, and has given his team a 6-1 lead nearly single-handedly tonight. Here is Samayan with 2 outs and still 2 on. Eight hits tonight for Jacksonville have turned into 6 runs. The Ospreys have been limited to 1 run on 2 hits. 1-0 tipped into the mitt. Gonzalez couldn't hang on, but moot point. So how about this? In his last 4 games, Duncan Hunter is 8 for his last 10. 8 for his last 10 with 2 doubles, a home run, and 7 RBI. Is that good? Can somebody check at home and let me know? We have confirmed that is indeed good. Jacksonville has a pinch runner down at second base. Connor Stevens is running for John Casala. And Samayan picks up his second base hit of the night with a gapper to left. Stevens will come in to score. Hunter holds up at second, diving in safely with a double. Ruben Samayan.
Now batting second baseman number 21.
That is the fourth double of the night for Jacksonville. First for Ruben Samayan. His fourth of the year, and he has driven in the other 2 runs for Jacksonville tonight that Hunter hasn't. And again, Ruben Samayan not trying to do too much. That pitch looked like it grabbed a lot of the plate, and he has gone oppo twice now tonight. Chris Lehane takes a breaking ball outside to start the at-bat ahead 1-0. Lehane is 1 for 3 tonight with a bunt single in the third. Runners on second and third and 2 outs. And there is some action down in the North Florida bullpen again. A right-hander starting to get loose. Pop up, foul territory. Reynolds and Gonzalez converging, but it will get out of play. Chris Michelis getting loose down in the bullpen for North Florida. You can see as the temperature has started to drop here, there is actually steam coming out of the mouth of Matt Vaca on the mound as he breathes heavily. It got up close to 80 degrees today, but then a front moved through, a cold front, which brought the rain that delayed this game by an hour. And with it, the thick, cooler air is being blown, looking like Lambeau Field on a November afternoon. Not quite the frozen tundra out there tonight, but still cooler and thicker air. If I was a meteorologist, I could explain it a little more better than that, but that'll be the extent of it. 2-2 to Lehane, and he strikes out. That is the second out of the inning, and the second consecutive time that Lehane has gone down on strikes. Oh, excuse me, that is the third out of the inning. I got lost in what was going on. That will do it. What an inning it was. Jacksonville with a couple more, 3 more in fact, and now leads 7-1. Chris Gow back for the 7th. As we highlighted last inning, he has worked 7 in each of his last 4 starts, trying to keep that streak alive. He will battle against 2, 3, and 4 in the lineup, and the last man to get a hit off of Gow was this man at the plate, Tanner Murphy. A solo shot to left in the 4th briefly tied the game at 1, and Gow brushes him off the plate to start the at-bat. Gow's 1-0. Got him to chase away a wicked slider with a lot of late action to it. 1-1. Blake Voiles awaiting on deck for North Florida. The DH is 0 for 2 tonight. Barry, the third baseman, is also 0 for 2. Fastball stays high. That's what's incredible. I mean, we're talking about Jacksonville in this game. Scott DeBrule picking up a hit. He's now 1 for 4 on the night. Most of the lineup has come to the plate 4 times already, and the Ospreys are going through the order for just the 3rd time already here this evening. Pop-up foul territory. Guardacione gives it a look, but it will get into the seats. And a hard carom takes it into the top row of the stands off to our right. 2-2. Two just misses low, much to the chagrin of Gow and the green-clad fans here in attendance tonight, who have let their displeasure with home plate umpire John Lavin be heard multiple times here this evening. It all started when Duncan Hunter was called out after he said he left third early on a fly out to left, but Gow comes back, gets the strikeout anyway. Fourth of the game for Chris Gow. To start off the seventh. When you have a breaking ball like this, why ever throw fastballs? Of course, rhetorical question. It's to set up that breaking ball and make it so effective. Gow, 69 pitches on the night. He has been economical. And he starts off with a fastball at the knees to Blake Voiles. Called a strike. Gow may, if he can keep this going, have an opportunity to go complete tonight. Ground ball up the middle. DeBrule has to go a long way and will not get there. That breaks a streak of 10 consecutive Ospreys sat down by Chris Gow. Blake Voiles with his first hit of the night, a one-out single up the middle. And Voiles has his third hit of the weekend series.
Third baseman number 21, Chris Berry.
Just a bouncing ball that found a hole. Sometimes the best thing to do is send the ball where it came from, and that's exactly what Blake Voiles did there. North Florida just its third hit of the night, trailing 7-1. Chris Berry stands in with a runner on first, and Gow will have to work from the stretch for the first time in a long time. First time since the second inning that Chris Gow has pitched from the stretch. We are now in the seventh. Jacksonville has not had a pitcher go complete yet this season. Last season, Casey Kalina earned the nickname Complete Game Casey late in the season. I don't know if anybody outside of me called him that, but he made it his goal pretty much every time he came out to toe the rubber late in the season to finish it out. He pitched a complete game win 4-0 over North Florida to clinch the ASUN regular season championship last season. Had one the week before that as well. Scoots away from Gordacione. Voiles will take second. The wild pitch allows the runner to move into scoring position. With one out, and Gow has fallen behind 3-0. Gow has not walked a batter yet tonight. And Gordacione will head out to the mound to exchange a few words with his junior right-hander. Now the key is to throw a strike here, but don't give Berry anything that he may want to swing at. Or anything that looks good enough, I should say, to really swing at and do damage with. 3-1, paints the outside corner. North Florida has its first runner in scoring position tonight. Lone run scored off a solo home run from Tanner Murphy in the fourth. Jay Prather, the only other Osprey to reach, and he was caught trying to steal to end the second. Ball 4, and the first free pass issued by Chris Gow here this evening puts 2 on with 1 out.
Now batting shortstop number 42, Jay Prather.
Just the 9th walk of the season for Chris Gow. In 36 innings of work, or excuse me, in 46 innings of work this year. And pitching coach Mark Guerra wants to have a word. The first signs of some stirring down in the Jacksonville bullpen. Chris Maloney getting ready to toss. And Coach Guerra having an extended conversation with Gow. The party is broken up by home plate umpire John Lavin, and we will get back to work. Guardasione's going to use the opportunity to clean off his spikes on the, and so will home plate umpire John Lavin. It's a party on the spike cleaner behind the mound. Rain swept through the Jacksonville area and saturated this field from about 2 o'clock until about 4 o'clock. And then the rain tapered off into a drizzle, which was steady until about 6 when it picked up again for about a half hour. And then moved on its merry way, bringing in some cooler temperatures here tonight. But it's allowed us to play baseball. We started this one at 8 o'clock. Are approaching the 2-hour mark thus far. And tomorrow's game again will start at 2, not 1 as originally scheduled, due to this one getting started late. That pitch elicited some cheers from the Jacksonville fans before they realized a little bit late that it was called for a ball. 1-1 to Jay Prather. Blake Voiles is down at second base for North Florida after he singled to break the streak of 10 consecutive Ospreys sat down by Chris Gow, and then a walk to Chris Berry, the first walk issued tonight by Gow as well, and a liner into left field, but right at Stevens, the new left fielder. And that's the second out of the inning. That one looked like it may have a chance off the bat, but it hung up there a little bit too long, and it was a little bit too at Connor Stevens. So it comes down to Ray Gonzalez to try and answer back for North Florida in their best scoring opportunity really all night long. When you score a lone run on a solo home run, that's not really a scoring opportunity. That's just taking advantage of an at-bat. But here with a runner in scoring position, for the first time this evening for the Ospreys, Ray Gonzalez, who picked up 3 hits, stands in so far 0 for 2 tonight. Gonzalez drove in 2 a night ago. He and Dalton Board both had multi-RBI games. And Chris Gow, after walking Chris Berry, has started off ahead of the next 2 batters he has faced. Swung on and missed. Went down and away with a fastball. 1-2 to Ray Gonzalez, and Chris Gow is 1 strike away from getting out of his first bit of trouble tonight. And you know it's a good night if you say a runner moving to second base in the 7th inning is the first bit of trouble. Time called by Gonzalez. There's Blake Voiles thinking about his opportunity to maybe become the second run of the night for North Florida. 0-2. Swung on and missed. Chris Gow, 7 innings, 5 strikeouts, 3 hits and just 1 run allowed. A big night for the junior right-hander, the Friday night guy, who's in line for the win here tonight. Chris Gow has pitched 8 innings 3 times in his career prior to tonight. He will try and extend on that here this evening in a night in which he has been nothing short of dominant on the mound. Scattering 4 hits, he has given up just 1 run on a solo shot, has struck out 5, and has mixed in all 4 of his pitches effectively here this evening. At one point early in this game, it felt like Gow, who is notoriously an emotional pitcher, might be letting those emotions get the best of him. But he settled back down, and he has mowed down most of the Osprey hitters he has faced here this evening. The 9th starts off with the only man who has produced a run off of him tonight, Tanner Murphy, at the plate. 2, 3, and 4 for North Florida here in the 9th as they try to erase a 6-run deficit. Tanner Murphy to be followed by Blake Voiles and Chris Berry. Gow has thrown 98 pitches now with that last ball in the dirt. He threw 8 innings 3 times last year against Lipscomb on the 13th of April, Valpo on the 1st of March, and Florida Gulf Coast on the 27th of May. And Murphy sends another one deep into the dark night. That is a fair ball and a second long ball of the evening. Eight on the year for Tanner Murphy, and that one may still be flying somewhere on the academic mall. That kid can hit. Up, in, and gone. But again, it's just a solo home run. Can Gow bounce back? Fly ball off the bat of Blake Voiles, but this will stay in the yard, and Samayan has it for the first out of the inning. So a new career high for Chris Gow. He has now gone 8 1/3 with that out. And it took just one pitch after he gave up the solo home run. Tanner Murphy has bested Chris Gow twice in 4 at-bats tonight. But Gow could still have the last say if he can get 2 more outs here. Chris Berry takes a changeup on the outside edge. And Gow back to working ahead of the hitter. Jay Prather, the shortstop, is on deck. Berry tonight is 0 for 2 with a walk, and he's behind 0 and 2. Berry will try to battle against Gow, who delivers his 0-2 and misses inside. Strike 3 called, painting the outside corner with a fastball. Strikeout number 6 for Chris Gow, and he's 1 out away from his first career complete game. Guardacioni setting up, down away, and Gow hits the spot. Nothing in 1 on Jay Prather, who represents the last chance for North Florida. Oh, 1 pitch. Misses high. Around the A-Sun tonight, Stetson with another win over Bethune-Cookman to take the series at home against the Wildcats. They win 2-0. We mentioned earlier Lipscomb evening up the series in conference play against NJIT at home with a 10-6 win. Swing and a miss, and Prather is down to his final strike. USC Upstate evened up the series at 1 apiece with Kennesaw State at home with a 9-3 victory. And Florida Gulf Coast with a 6-3 win over Jackson State in their series opening game in Mississippi. 1-2 pitch, strike 3 called, Chris Gow. Complete, earns the win, and forces a rubber match tomorrow. What a performance from Chris Gow tonight. 9 innings, 5 hits allowed, just 2 runs, 7 strikeouts, 1 walk. A dominant outing for the Friday night starter, the tone setter as he describes himself, Chris Gow, fueling Jacksonville to a win tonight with some offensive help from the freshman Duncan Hunter and Ruben Samayan, the leadoff man who drove in all 7 combined tonight for the Dolphins, who took advantage of a big 4th and 5th innings to take a lead they would not relinquish. 7-2, Jacksonville prevails tonight.